The problem is, if they don't have a valid driver's license, never had a driver's license, they don't have a registered or an insured motor vehicle, and they don't speak English, that sends off a couple of red flags. Those red flags say, hey, this person might not be legal in this country. But you know what? Maybe they are. Maybe they're in this country legally. They just haven't learned English. They haven't gotten a driver's license yet. But they have their documentation. They have a visa because they're going to school. Or they've got a work visa because they're picking crops. Okay, fine. Show the documentation and you're free to go. If you don't have any documentation and there's no records of you, bye-bye. Time to go back to Mexico, Canada, England, Ireland, Australia, Zimbabwe. It doesn't matter where you're from. You're claiming that this law is going to target Mexicans and Latinos. Maybe you haven't claimed this directly, but you're saying what you're saying is implying this because you're saying skin color and the way they sound. Quite frankly, the Arizona law doesn't specify Latino, just in case you haven't read it, which we kind of know you haven't. And it doesn't matter whether they're from Mexico or Canada or England. If you're found to be in this country illegally, you need to leave. The idea for a pathway to citizenship is great. That pathway should be to go back to their home country, file the paperwork, and wait in line like everybody else. Why is it fair that people have to wait in their home countries for years to come here when the people who are here illegally get to stay here and file for their citizenship? It's not fair. And this is why you need to get on the ball and you need to enforce the federal law. The federal law for immigration allows federal agents to come up to anybody and ask for proof of citizenship. The Arizona law limits what they can, when they can ask for proof of citizenship. You have to be stopped by the police. You have to be arrested. You have to be detained lawfully, and otherwise have a lawful contact with the police. But we need to enforce the borders. We need to enforce immigration. And if the president isn't willing to do it, and other states are willing to step up and do it, he's right. There's going to be a patchwork of immigration laws. Right now in Massachusetts, they're welcoming everybody. So, you know what? You get kicked out of Arizona, just come here. Our government would love to have you here. I personally don't. But, you know what? Governor Patrick and Mayor Menino and the Boston City Council say, come on in. So, you see, the problem is when the states have to step up to do the feds' job, it means the feds aren't doing their job. And the feds should take that as a clue. Obama should take it as a hint when a governor of a state has to start enforcing a federal law that he refuses to enforce himself, that maybe he should get involved and start enforcing the law. I suggest that you read the law, Mr. President, and act upon it. Don't sit here and tell us that we need to be welcoming to people who break our laws and let them get by. It's not going to happen. And I urge my congressmen and my state reps to not go along with Obama's comprehensive immigration reform if it allows the illegal immigrants to stay in this country while they await their citizenship. If the law that he wants to pass requires them to leave this country and file their paperwork and wait like everybody else, and it also fines them, then yes, vote for it. But I also want to see this law, before it gets passed, posted online like we were promised that the laws would be done. I want to see this law posted online so that we can read it before it gets voted on, before people try to sneak this through. And I'm hoping that they'll allow this to happen. But please, Senator Brown, Senator Kerry, do not support Barack Obama's comprehensive immigration reform. It's not good for this country. It's not good for the state of Massachusetts. And all it's going to do is encourage more illegal immigrants to flood into this country. What happens the day after the comprehensive immigration reform goes into effect and these people are granted permission to stay, and they line up and they register, they pay whatever fines they have to pay? But then the very next day, 1,000 more illegal immigrants flood into this country. And the day after that, another 1,000. What happens with those 1,000 immigrants per day? Are we going to have Obama enforcing the immigration law then? No. These people will be the next ones, very first ones in line for the next round of immigration reform. Because, hey, my cousin got it. I want to get it. No. We need to make it impossible for them to be in this country. It's that simple. And we need to come up with a way of doing it. I like the E-Verify system. That's great for employers. We need to find a way of making sure that landlords cannot rent to illegal immigrants, or realtors can't sell property to illegal immigrants. Here in Massachusetts, we need to make sure that our registry of motor vehicles won't allow illegal immigrants to register vehicles without insurance and a driver's license. Because right now they can. They get what's called an X number registration. And they can drive around illegally in a legally registered vehicle while they're in this country illegally. Yes, it's confusing and contradictory. But that's the way that this country is headed. Right now, we're living in a country where we're very quickly becoming second-class citizens. And the first-class citizens are the illegal immigrants. Okay? And we can't let this happen. What we need to do is petition our government to enforce the laws that we already have. We don't need any more laws, Mr. President, on immigration. We've got enough laws. Now we need you to enforce them. If you don't have the cojones to enforce our immigration laws, then step down and let someone else who will do it take up the job. I'm proud to be able to come out here and speak to you about these issues. And whether Senator Kerry, Senator Brown, or Barney Frank, or anyone else in government sees this message or not, that doesn't matter. You've seen it. And we need to remind them that November's coming. And in November, we need to vote the bums out. We need to make sure that we get conservatives into office, even moderates into office, and get the liberal bums out. Well, until next time, take care, and God bless America.